How's it going, Guardians? We have a lot to unpack in this video. We've got a couple things, and this is the main reason why I say I like to let things digest, is we had the developer video with Heresy, and we also got to see a lot of the artifact mods, and primarily we're going to be talking about the Exotic Glaives, and really what Glaives are going to be doing during Heresy in general. This is going to be a very Glaive-heavy season, and we're also discussing whether or not the changes to the 3-class Exotic Glaives was a buff or a nerf. I would consider it more of a rework, and I will delve into why I would consider it more of a rework than a nerf, and I'm having a hard time honestly getting behind it, even though there are a lot of really solid changes. So I think it's going to be something that I'm going to have to get used to as we go forward. But without further ado, let's talk about the class Exotic Glaives themselves and the changes that are coming to them, and why I believe this is kind of like a more of a rework rather than simply a buff. Now, Bungie stated in their TWID/TWID, whatever you want to call it, on the 23rd that the class Exotic Glaives have felt a bit clunky since their addition to the game, and that they're going to be making some changes with the global changes to Glaives that will help smooth over the gameplay loops of each of these. As well as additional neutral game value outside of the special shots. Now, first and foremost, the first thing that they say is actually what is kind of alarming to me, and the reason I say it's alarming, I guess, would be for one glaive in particular, and that's going to be the Edge of Concurrence. But this states as follows: all class Exotic Glaives, the special shot is no longer tied to the glaive energy, with the Edge of Concurrence in particular being the one that you actually have as a projectile that can hit an enemy directly. That shot itself, the special shot, can charge the glaive energy. So whenever you have at least 2 Loosened Blade mods on it, it caps out at 2, because whenever you have 3, you get diminishing returns and it doesn't really do what you want. You can actually get that special shot in 3 shots as opposed to the standard 4. And the same goes for the other glaives as well. If you're on Titan, the double Loosened Blade mods will get your remote bubble in 3 shots as opposed to the 4. But the thing about the Edge of Concurrence is if you're able to hit your special shot directly, you also get glaive energy back as if that was a regular shot. So in theory, you're actually able to charge the special shot of the Edge of Concurrence in 2 shots. Now, with that being explained, this is no longer tied to glaive energy. It says it is now triggered on 6 weapon hits to allow the special reload, and it also increments off both shots and melee hits. Now, this is the change that is pretty solid, I guess, that it's going to do shots and melee hits. But me being a hunter, I was never really in melee range consistently with this glaive, just because of how good it was at ad clear, and you know it actually does a lot more damage than most people would expect it to do. I think content creators kind of gave this weapon a bad rap when it initially came out, as well as the other glaives. I will say the Edge of Intent was very, very bad. Six shots is kind of crazy, but the Loosened Blade mod is only tied to glaive energy and sword energy. So I'm really hoping that there's some type of change, because I don't want to have to hit an enemy 6 times with the Edge of Concurrence. That's a lot of that's like the whole magazine for the Edge of Concurrence, just to charge that one special shot, whereas before it was 2 to 3 shots, and that 2 to 3 shots was very easy to hit with these Loosened Blade mods. Now, with the changes that they do have coming, which you're going to get the jolting feedback added to the intrinsic perk of the Edge of Concurrence, you get destabilizing rounds added to the intrinsic perks on the Edge of Action, and also you're getting incandescent to the intrinsic on the Edge of Intent, and it also added the cure pulse to the special shot impact, which is, I'm pretty sure it's getting the same changes that the Mask of the Speaker were getting, but I'm really worried about that 6 weapon hits as opposed to the glaive energy. I'm not exactly sure it wasn't working there, and the thing that it kind of has me thinking in my head is that not even, and it's no flame, I genuinely refuse to believe that there's a Bungie employee out there that's probably using the Edge of Concurrence or the Edge of Action or the Edge of Intent more than some of the people that I see online, and I did not see a complaint about the glaive energy being tied to the special shot anywhere. That was not a complaint that I saw anywhere, and it could be mitigated by something already. It had a functioning way to deal with it. I am happy with the intrinsic perks being added to it, so basically Edge of Action is going to have a form of intrinsic anti-barrier with that destabilizing rounds perk, I think, with the changes being made. But also we have an opportunity to take a look at the artifact from the video the other day. And in that artifact mod, you'll see it actually has Unstoppable Glaives, and there is another glaive mod down there towards the end that's available on the Tablet of Ruin. So we're going to have Unstoppable Glaives, and the Edge of Action is more than likely going to serve that anti-barrier and unstoppable role simply because it has that intrinsic perk added to it. So this is going to be a very glaive-heavy meta. I'm curious to hear the community's take on whether or not you see this as a buff or just a nerf or a rework. I personally am having a hard time stomaching whether or not this could be fully considered a buff or a nerf, but for me, as somebody who's been using the Edge of Concurrence in PvP and PvE, honestly, for a couple years now, it seems like a nerf to the Edge of Concurrence, I will say. To the other glaives, I will say it's a buff because nobody was using them anyways. But for the Edge of Concurrence, I have to say it's a nerf for sure. I'm hoping that the jolting feedback somehow brings back and pulls back towards, against that nerf a little bit. But otherwise, I think we're going to see a pretty glaive-centric season. And hopefully they do get the spotlight they deserve, because I've been waiting for an ornament for these glaives for quite some time as well. And I hope to see other players using them also. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm kind of sad to see this coming with the 6 melee hits, but other than that, I think this is a solid change to the glaives, and I'm happy to see them finally getting some love in the artifacts. Be sure to be on the lookout for some more videos from your boy Turk here at SGN. I know I'm going to be putting out a couple build videos because seeing that artifact tree got me feeling a little excited. So I will be creating. I will see you folks. Peace.